aside from that rather bumpy, evil start to sophomore year honestly began great. We had our own apartment, right? So we were no longer living on campus. And being that I was pretty much like used to being independent, like had moved out of my parents' house when I was 15 and a half, I just found that living off campus much better suited my lifestyle and who I was as a person. Things are going to advance quite quickly, but I'm getting ahead of myself. So I can't actually, yes, I can. So I was going to say I can't remember when Jane and I officially started dating. There wasn't a real start point, but I do know that by the time Bruin Bash came along, round 2, right? Because we were now sophomores, we were actually dating. And I remember that because of what I am getting ready to describe in this part. So for a little bit more context, and again, this will come up, just like everything I've been giving you hasn't been for no reason. We lived across the hallway from a house of, it was like 6 girls and 2 gay guys, with 2 girls and a gay guy. Anyway, that was our setup. And actually at one point it was 3 guys, 3 girls, and a guy who didn't realize he was gay yet. But again, I am getting ahead of myself. The reason why I bring that up is because we had plans. So we threw lots of parties with our neighbors across the hallway, but we also had plans that night to go to Bruin Bash because it was going to be E40 and Tyga. I don't think there was a third performer. I think those 2 had enough star recognition that, I mean, shoot, I'm not a music person, but I was like, I'm gonna go see E40. Like, tell me when, like, shoot. So anyway, the thing about Bruin Bash is that it's supposed to be fair. Like, it's supposed to be, you line up, you stand in line at whatever hour of the morning, you get your ticket, and it's fair. So why was it that every year, despite there not being the whole sorority comes out to get in line, somehow all of the sororities end up having front row seats? Get what I'm putting down? So, like most of UCLA, it's a very, very Greek event, Bruin Bash, but I was not going to let that stop me from enjoying myself. And you guys might get sick of me continuing to bring this up, but that's how large of the experience it was. And again, I do specifically and particularly mention it for what's about to happen right here. So, mind you, it's not been that long since Jane has been very rudely rejected by her sisters, right? The whole house of her sisters that she paid for. And had she been accepted, she would have gone to Bruin Bash with them. But that was not the case. She went with me and with our other neighbors across the hallway. So we go to Bruin Bash, right? Tyga performs, E40 performs. It's all nice and wonderful. And then, towards the end of the night, I see Christian by the stage. So Jane and I go down to the stage, to the front of the stage. I purely there I want to say hi to Christian, right? So I, again, saw a couple of my friends, went to go say hi to my friends. All of a sudden, a bunch of students rushed up on the stage, bum rushed the stage. Now, again, I've already said this. I'm 6'4", so I knew that I wasn't, like, if I tried to get up there, they would probably pull me right back down, right? I knew I wouldn't be able to get my big ass up there in time. However, Jane is all of 5'1.5". So I picked her ass up, pushed her up on the stage. Somebody tried to grab me even just from doing that, but it's like, too late, dude. I'm not trying to get up on the stage. I just want to get my girlfriend up there. And again, we were official at this point, and I'll tell you how I know and how I remember that in just a second here. But anyway, so they're all up on the stage. Again, the musicians, the performers had already gone at this point, but it was just, again, a time. Jane was like through the roof excited that I was able to get her up there. And so we like she eventually came down, right? Said bye to Christian. And we're leaving the venue, which, mind you, if I remember correctly, this was the first Bruin Bash that was inside of Pauley Pavilion, which was the huge basketball court where they eventually started having graduations, etc. But this was still being built. UCLA, under construction like always. So this was it was a big deal because it was like they were unveiling this new stadium that had been being built our entire freshman year that we did not have access to, right? So we're leaving the stadium. Oh, and I should probably also mention that, like, I'm blind. I'm blind. So sometimes I have a good, I don't know. Like, I have a pretty good prescription now. Anyway, so we're leaving the stadium. And I'm behind Jane, who is still all excited, you know, on this high from being up on the stage. I'm on the same high because I got her up there, right? She runs ahead of me, and I see her, what I can only describe as like she's trash talking this group of girls. And I'm like, oh shit, what's going on? So as I get closer, I realize that these girls, that's her older sister's sorority. And she's like, she's like, what are you bitches doing all the way back here? She's like, my boyfriend got me up on the stage and you're all the way back here. And again, so that's how I knew that we were official at this point. Because again, I couldn't tell you necessarily when we started, but I'm sitting there and I'm just, again, we're both confrontational people. So I'm not going to sit here and act like, you know, like this was abnormal, because it was not. This was very much according to how we carried ourselves, right? Except I'm just like, let me shut up and let her get her words out. Because, you know, as these girls are sitting there so shocked and like, oh my goodness, why would she do that to this? I mean, like, we only treated her so poorly after her sister died, you know? Like, why is she talking to us like this? So anyway, I let her get her words out for a couple of moments. I then stood in front of her and I said, this is so-and-so's little sister. I said, you guys run on back home and ask your sisters who so-and-so was, okay? And then I grabbed Jane and we left. That came to be one of the favorite memories of our time together, which I will talk more about in the next video.